Okay, so you're in Logic with your recorded audio. First thing you should do is make sure that the level of the audio sits at about -12 dB. When we add amp modulation and compression to the signal, the volume will also increase, so we just want to make sure that there's plenty of headroom to work with. Next, add the amp simulator to your track. With this, you can then switch through the list of default settings to find the ultimate sound you need, or just to have a solid starting point. I recommend just having a listen through in the first instance until you find something that finds a good starting point. You might even get lucky and find just the right thing from the beginning. For this tutorial, I'm going for a classic funk R&B kind of sound with my bass tone. I'm using the Big Stack factory setting as a starting point here. This has a nice deep bass tone, but also a little bit of low mid presence just to capture the subtleties of what I'm playing. It's still not quite right, but we'll adjust it to make it so. There are some inbuilt functions on the amp modulation, and first thing I'll do is just turn off the compressor. It's a very basic one here. It's not as powerful as my Pro plugins, so just switch it off. I also adjust the pre-faders on the module as well. It acts as lowering the 40Hz region and also the 250Hz region as well. Adjusting the 40Hz fader helps control the frequencies below 100Hz, against that of my kick drum, which is quite thick in this track. And then between 200 and 300Hz, your bass can sound pretty artificial and quite cheap, so I can give myself a helping hand there before I even start properly EQing it by just amending on the pre-fader as well. EQ is your new best friend for getting the sound that you desire, so remember that cutting can be more important than boosting here. You just want to get rid of the nasty, cheap sounding frequencies. I've also boosted it around 80 to 90 Hz here a little bit as well, as that's the best overall tone for this particular sound. Keep a watch over your track output volumes as you tweak the sound. I recommend just switching the plugin on and off, A/Bing, periodically, just to see where your sound started from and where you've gone by adding the effects. Here I can also adjust the virtual microphone placement to suit my sound. This is a great little feature to shape your tone. Once you're satisfied, it's time to keep sharpening your sound with compression for maximum control. Compressor will really thicken up your sound and just even it out as well. There are numerous settings to consider, appropriate to your genre and sound, and it could be the difference maker in making your bass really shine in your track.